ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्र मरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर् गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमो। I offer my humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, who is glorified by Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, and the hosts of 33 crore devatas. And he is always remembered by the yogis in their hearts in rapt meditation. And he is also glorified in all the Vedic literature, Puranas, Vedas, Upanishads, and all of them as the summum and bonum, ultimate. To him I offer my humble obeisances. Like that, Suta Goswami in the 12th canto, you will read this verse. So Vishwara Prabhu very beautifully narrated not only about Lord Shiva and his role, but many other very valuable things for enhancing our consciousness. When Brahma is looking at Braja from the top, he is observing Vrindavan and glorifying the residents of Vrindavan. In Srimad Bhagavatam profusely. Aho atidanyam rajago ramanya stanyamritam pitamati vate muda. He is saying that Aho atidanyam. He says, how fortunate are these ladies of Vrindavan, the Yashoda's friends. He is saying, Brajago ramanya stanya amritam pitam ativate muda. Krishna became their baby. In the Brahma Mohan Leela, Krishna became their own son and drank milk from their breasts. How blessed are these women of Vrindavan. Although Brahma is the first created living being, he has 4 heads, his body is made up of intelligence, he is son of the Supreme Lord, he got the first instruction of the Vedas from the Lord, and he is the first Acharya in the entire Guru Parampara. Despite all these qualifications, he considers himself very unfortunate and the Vrajavasi ladies to be more fortunate. Then he is looking at the covered men and saying, Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajaukasam janmitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. He is telling, Aho bhagyam. Again he is saying, these men are also very fortunate like Nanda, Sunanda and all the other covered men. Why? He is saying, janmitram paramanandam. They have made such a close, intimate friendship with Lord Krishna. Purna Brahma Sanatanam. Krishna is Purna Brahma, but here he is playing in their courtyard like a small, tender baby, crawling and performing leelas for their pleasure. So how blessed are these men? How blessed are these women? And Shukadeva Goswami admires the covered boys. He is telling about them. When is he saying this? You will read in 12th chapter and 14th chapter of the 10th canto. He's talking about how Krishna is entering the forest of Raj with all the covered boys, and he plays many varieties of games. They jump like the frogs. They imitate the cooing of the birds. They imitate the dancing of the peacock. They glide down from the trees. They make jula and they are swinging under the trees. And also they're eating with Krishna in the bank of Yamuna. And then Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shitanam naradarakena sakam vijarhu krata punya punjaha. Again he is saying, what punya have they done in millions of lifetimes that Krishna has become, so close to them like intimate friend. They are playing on an equal level with the Lord. Even jnanis and yogis get to see only the shining tip of the toenail of Krishna. But these boys are playing with him on an equal level, catching Krishna's hands, cracking jokes at him, feeding him, and eating from his hands, embracing him, and playing games with him. How blessed are these covered boys. So he's admiring about each of the residents in Vrindavan. So, somebody may wonder why these residents are considered so blessed and so fortunate. And how did they get to be in association with Krishna? Regarding that, Brahma tells one famous verse, Tavat raga dayastenaha, tavat karagraham graham, tavat mohom grinigado yavat krishnanate janaha. This is a very, very famous verse in the 10th canto. They have become Krishna Jan, they are saying. Yavat Krishnanate Janaha. They have become Krishna's property. They have become Krishna's belonging. Due to which, he is saying, Tavat Ragadayas Tenaha. Their attachments and aversions to the material world are all evaporated completely. Actually, in this world, you say, going to a marriage is very auspicious, Mangal Karya, like they write like that. And going to a shmashan is inauspicious. Correct, no? One time I got an invitation. One very rich man in Pune, he had passed away. So they asked me, can you come to shmashan? And we were not ready to go. I said that we have done kirtan in their house. Some devotees went and did. That's good enough. But they said, if you come to shmashan graveyard, you can give a talk to all the other friends of his. There are about 300 people. And you can also distribute one Gita to them, they said. I immediately agreed to go. And I spoke half an hour and gave one Gita to them. So Smashan became an auspicious place. On the other hand, Radha Gopinath was once telling, he was given an invitation to go to a marriage. He asked them, what for? They said, it will be nice if we give a lecture and little kirtan. So he went and sat on a stage like this, and people are all dressed, dressed. They were wearing dresses, and all going, ha ha, he, hoo. Everybody was making noise, laughing, clapping, joking, men, women. He said, I am sitting, there's no one to look at me. They have made arrangements for seating arrangements. There is nobody coming and sitting. So he said, I sat for a few minutes. I took the mic. I did little kirtan. Even for kirtan, they are not sitting. How will they sit for lecture? He got up and walked out, and there was no one to ask. Where are you? When did you come? When did you go? People are all too busy, he said. So he said, call it Mangal Karyalaya, but they didn't allow me to do a Mangal activity. So, what makes it Mangal for a devotee or Ashubha for a devotee is whether Krishna is present or Krishna is absent. Kurukshetra battle is important for us. Why? Because Krishna is present. We never talk about Battle of Panipat in a World War I, World War II. We don't talk. Because there is no Krishna there. So, for Vijavasis, this is the point. For them, everything revolved around Krishna. Are you putting Krishna in the center of your life? Or are you including Krishna in your sense gratification program? That is the question. Most people think I have 24 ways to get my sense gratification and Krishna is the 25th way. They think like that. But in Krishna consciousness movement, we put Krishna in the center. Krishna is everything for me. Krishna is my mother, Krishna is my father, Krishna is my life and soul. So our heart revolves around Krishna, and that is Vijaba says in Vrindavan. And because of that, he says, Tavat raga deyastenaha, tavat karagraham. See, this is what makes a difference between a pious person and a spiritual person. Pious person means the reference point is oneself. I go to any temple, I can go to Sai Baba temple, I can go to Vaishnavi Devi temple, I can go to Krishna temple, Rama temple, any temple, just fold your palm, close your eyes and try to remember the list what you wanted to ask. Now, that is a pious person. But a spiritual person means you want to know who is Krishna's mother, who is Krishna's father, who is Krishna's sweetheart, who are very dear animals of Krishna, which is Krishna's dear abode, what item Krishna likes to eat, when will he accept bhoga, what leaf I should put by which Krishna will accept the bhoga, and what is the way I can please Krishna. So, this is called Tat Sukhi Sukhitvam. We get pleasure by giving pleasure to Krishna. Which means sometimes we may get pain while trying to give pleasure to somebody. You can see that even all of your mothers, how much they have sacrificed to raise you from childhood. And without any expectation. They were putting sweat and toil. And that is one of the reasons why you love her so much. Why you love your mother so much, because there is so much sacrifice, right from childhood. And so much patience, so much tolerance. So, in the same manner, she actually tried to give you pleasure while accepting pain for herself. Same thing we should do with Krishna. Give pleasure to him by being willing to accept pain in our life. So, and that austerity is the best austerity, the divine austerity. Accepting pain for the pleasure of Krishna. Jiva Goswami, in the Sandarbhas, gives one example. You may think it appears to be a very mundane example, but it is. He gives this example to illustrate the nature of devotional service. He says that once a fellow left the village and came to a city to do the work of a chowkidar, like watchman. So he was drawing something like 5,000 rupees. He would only keep 1,000 with himself and 4,000 he would send it to the village. And then he was living in a chal. Chal means a house with no door. There is only curtain. And there's a gutter water flowing, mosquitoes are biting him, dogs are barking. Not a very comfortable place to stay. And he was eating very simple food. Only once a day he would eat. Other 2 times he would just drink water. But he was smiling very happily, thinking that my wife will wear nice saree, my son will drink milk and go to school. So he was contemplating on their happiness and feeling happiness and smiling here while accepting pain himself. This example Jiva Goswami gives, he says, exactly like this man, you should serve Krishna. He says, you should serve Krishna, contemplate about how will Krishna enjoy this offering of mine. So when you keep on thinking like this, and that is what will bring us to the standard of Ujjabasi. In Vrindavan, you will see in the 15th chapter, there is a beautiful pastime description. Sun became very hot one day in Vrindavan. Somebody may wonder why sun should be hot, sun should be cool. But the sun is hot because sun wants to increase the services of all the residents of Raj. So immediately the wind started blowing, as Prabhuji was telling. And wind was blowing. Yamuna was telling, oh wind, you are going towards Krishna's direction. Can you please take some droplets of water from me? He picked up. Then the garden flowers asked, can you take some pollen from us? So he took the pollen and then mixed with the fragrance of the pollen and droplets of water. He went to the Govardhan hill where Krishna was playing with his covered friends. And he surrounded round and round and round he went. Krishna felt a great relief. And all the covered boys also. And the wind felt very happy. And in the meantime, the clouds which were far away, they saw that wind is serving Krishna. What am I doing? I'm a lazy fellow. I'm not doing anything. Let me also render some service. Because sun is pretty hot. It's coming right on Krishna's body. So then he started migrating towards Vrindavan. As they came close, right above Krishna's head, the clouds formed like an umbrella. And they were drizzling. And that drizzling was so pleasant experience for Krishna. So the cloud was very happy because he was able to shelter Krishna and covered boys from the sun. And he was also getting to hear the flute sound of Krishna very nearby. It was very jolly to do that. So in this way, you will see everybody is thinking about how to serve and please Krishna. That's one thing. Second thing, nobody bothers about whether my name will come or not. Jamuna never said, please make sure my name is written. I only gave you water. And the flowers never said, make sure my name is written, that I gave you the fragrance. They think somehow or other Krishna should be pleased. Whether my name comes or not, it's not an important thing. Ultimately, Krishna should be pleased. That is their goal. So they all put aside their false ego and they want to please Krishna ultimately. They are satisfied in seeing Krishna pleased. So this is called as Tatsukhi Sugitvam in Vrindavan. This is actually the consciousness. So why do we come for yatra? The purpose of yatra is purification. So how do we get purified? See, the senses can be purified by engaging senses in Krishna service. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhaktiruchyate, we say. Engaging the senses in Lord's service. For example, I should be engaged in seeing the deity forms of the Lord. Leg should be engaged in going on Govardhan Parikrama. Yeah. I'll take. Thank you. And the hand should be engaged in offering arati to the Lord, isn't it? The ear should be engaged in hearing the katha when we go attentively. Yeah. And the mouth should be engaged in chanting the holy name and eating the prasad and speaking the glories of Krishna. So in this way, senses get purified. And how the mind can be purified? By chanting Manmana, Bhava Madbhakta, by chanting the holy name, mind is purified. How the intelligence can be purified? By studying the sacred scriptures and knowing what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is short term, what is long term. Yeah. So, and how can the ego be purified? Here comes the point. How can our ego be purified? By staying with devotees in yatra and not going away. That's how we get purified. Yeah. So, the ego is purified by coming close to devotees. And I'll tell you how. Prabhupada gives an example. When the diamonds are dug in the mountains, they look very blackish. They are very blackish in color. But these diamonds are all put inside a box and they put on the plug and like that sounds come in the beginning. All the diamonds abrade one another. And then after several hours, when you open the box and see, they all are shining. Because all of them got polished very nicely. They are shining like diamond, we say. So Srila Prabhupada said the same example. Prabhupada said that when devotees come in the early stage, they have many sharp ends. They are very neophyte and they are very sharp with each other in dealing, in speaking, very insensitive and offensive and all that. Yeah. Now it is not only to do with only very new devotees. Even as older devotees, we may still be neophyte if we have great expectation for respect from others. And we can still be not purified because we have too much expectations from the management, from the different things like that, isn't it? And also if we are fault-finding in nature, we will be very dissatisfied. We can't be happy. We have too much expectation. So we have a controlling mode, or we have too much expectation, or my opinion was not heard. We have the ego tussle problem. Or if someone insults us, not knowing how senior we are, or if you are frustrated with some prasadam delay, like Prabhu was telling, you can easily remember these 5 situations where our ego is really shaken up. You know what is this? Easy to remember. CEO, IF, remember. If I am a CEO, like that you can remember. Control, trying to control other devotees, having expectation from others. My opinion is the best opinion. And I for insult. If somebody insulted me, how can they insult me not knowing how senior I am? And F for frustrated. Frustrated by the mismanagement or some arrangement didn't work out the way that you expected. These are things which make us, our ego becomes bloated, and then it troubles us, troubles others also. But yatra is a time when you will find that things will not be in your control, as Prabhu rightly said. Whether it is prasadam or whether it is going around walking, the arrangements, facilities, or some devotee may not know who you are and they may say something, it may be hurting us. Somebody will respect you, somebody will disrespect you. Somebody will honor you, somebody will dishonor you. Sometimes you may get the things done the way you wanted. Like, I go to sometimes accommodation where I go to stay. I go into the bathroom, there is no place to keep the soap anywhere. Carefully they made the bathroom with no facility for keeping the soap anywhere. You've seen that? Yeah. And sometimes I switch on the geyser, I find light is on, but it is not heating the water. Water is always cold only. What to do? Yeah. Sometimes you go into the washroom and you want to bolt the door, this is not going inside. You've seen that? And you're afraid you're inside, somebody should not come in. Yeah. He's saying, do kirtan, he's saying. Isn't it? On the other hand, we go to other places, posh and plush. Sometimes you get like that. Both situations will come in our life. Happy and unhappy situations. So yatra is a time we have to exactly behave like the residents of Vrindavan. We should actually act for pleasing Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. If that is our goal, we will get purified very fast. Hare Krishna, yeah. So, amongst all the purification, which is the most painful purification? Which purification? Body or the senses or the mind or the intelligence or ego. Ego is most painful because Shita Vishna, Sukha Dukkha, Man Apaman. It's increasing degree. Shita Vishna is in bodily level. Sukha Dukkha is in mental level. And Man Apaman is ego level. Very painful. Very painful. But it won't be painful provided we become submissive. Either we should be humble or we'll be humbled by the situation around us. But one good news for you, if you allow yourself to get purified, what is the result of that purification? The result of the purification is increased awareness, increased consciousness. Like you see, I read one article by Howard, who later on became Hayagriva Prabhu. He says, in most religious paths like Jnanis, Yogis and all, there is a Purusha Bhava. Purusha Bhava means they keep a long beard, they keep this stuffed, and they put Rudraksha around it, and they have a stick to keep, and they have Kamandalu. It looks very masculine. You've seen that? So they think I'm very powerful, and so many people come and bow down. So it increases one's ahankar oftentimes. Vishwamitra and Vasishta, they always had a tussle, you all know that, isn't it? One time Vasishta called Vishwamitra to his cottage and he reduced the height of the cottage. Only this much door, and Vishwamitra was taller. So he thought at least here he has to bow down and come inside. So Vishwamitra came and thought, how can I go inside? Then he bent his leg and went inside without bending the head down. You can see how much ego people have, even after becoming sages also. So therefore, you will see that. So he is saying in that article, but the goal of a Gaudiya Vaishnava is what? He is explaining in that article. He says that the goal of a Gaudiya Vaishnava is to become a Manjari. Manjari means not even a Sakhi. Assistant to Sakhis are the Manjaris, like 5 or 6 years old. Little girls who are like 4 or 5 years old. He says this is the aspiration of a Manjari, highest aspiration. That the devotee feels, I will chant the holy name, I will get purified, I will go back to the spiritual world, I will assist Srimati Radharani's Sakhis. I become a tiny Manjari. Whatever they order me, I will do. Just like our Narottamdas Thakur singing. He says that Lalita Vishakayadi Yata Sakhi Vrinda Ajnaya Kurivo Seva Charanaravinda Radha Krishna Pranamo युगल किशोर जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोर. To attain this position, we have to become humble, we have to become tolerant, we have to be patient. We should not have any expectation of any respect from any living entity. And we should always contemplate on pleasure of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. And we should be like a salt, as he said. We should be invisible but available and with no expectations. Not a very easy thing. And for this, we have to get purified. If we get purified, actually anybody who's practicing spiritual life sincerely, they will see the awareness going like this level, then this level of awareness, this level of awareness. Initially, awareness will come that I am not the body, I am the soul. And then I want to get rid of suffering like that. But then when you go a little higher, you understand that, oh, I am not the only soul. There are so many souls, part and parcels of the Lord. Lord is our Swami. Then when you go a little more higher, you understand, Krishna may be my Swami, but he is not easily approachable, attainable. He is only attainable through Srimati Radharani. Then when you go higher and higher, oh, even Radharani is so great. You can't approach her directly. If any of her Sakhis can admit me in service, I will be so blessed. Either one feels. So in this way, as one's consciousness increases, it becomes finer and finer and thinner. Then when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to cross one toll naka, one watchman there asked him, "Are you alone? Is anyone with you?" So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately burst into tears. He said, "Yes, in this morbid world, I am all alone. Krishna has ditched me. He has left me alone." Like that he said, and he cried. And that watchman, he started crying also. Can you imagine? Instantly. Just by when Mahaprabhu said that, he was in that consciousness. Constantly he was like a destitute. Destitute means Krishna has disappeared from my side. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda Virakanam. He was in that consciousness. So when consciousness becomes finer and finer and finer, there is no question of expecting any respect from anybody. There is no question of becoming arrogant in that state. It's a very advanced stage of awareness. And Narada writes in Bhakti Sutra, Amrito bhavati, tushto bhavati, tripto bhavati, anandi bhavati. Like that he writes. This is actually the fruit of your... see, the purpose of performing austerities is to increase our awareness. When that consciousness blossoms from Avrita Chetana, Sankuch Chetana, Mukli Chetana, Vikasit Chetana, Purna Vikasit Chetana, fifth degree of consciousness, Anandamaya stage, when we come, in that stage, how do you feel inside your heart? He says, Amrito Bhavati. You feel, let this consciousness go on forever. Eternity. You feel a joy. And Tripto Bhavati. You are completely satisfied with no hankerings. And Tushto, actually Tushto Bhavati means you are nourished in your consciousness. Anandi Bhavati means you become blissful in your consciousness. So, therefore, both Taittiriya Upanishad and Vedanta Sutra talk about this. Vedanta Sutra says Anandamayo Abhyasat. And Taittiriya Upanishad says Raso by Saha Rasamhi Evayam Labdva Anandi Bhavati. It says that Supreme Lord is blissfully situated. Krishna is always happy. And that on the hoods of Kaliya, Krishna is happy, smiling. In the Kurukshetra battlefield, it says Prahasanniva Bharata. He is smiling happily. There is no time Krishna is not smiling. Krishna is never in tension at all. And if you connect with that Lord, you also will become Anandi. You will become very happy, he says. So, when we come to Vrindavan, our goal is not happiness. Our goal is service. Our goal is purification. Our goal is to fit ourselves in such a way that we can please the devotees and Guru and Krishna. And when we fulfill this kind of aspect, the result is you get happiness. Happiness is actually the end product. We don't look for it. We look for service. And the result is we get happiness. So, Vishwarup Prabhu I think bell has rung now, I think. Okay. Also, we didn't want to extend it too long today because you all have to go to Mathura station with all the traffic and everything. Our managers, I want to say a few words about the managers. Every day they were getting more than 100 calls. Many of our managers, you can imagine, they have not been able to hear the lectures in the morning time, especially when all of us went out and heard lectures and saw the places. They had practically know that enjoyment was not there for them because they had to take care of needs, arranging the accommodation, arranging prasadam, arranging vehicles, and looking after the administration. They worked very, very hard. And also because it's 1200 devotees, some old Prabhuji or Mataji has some sickness or ailment, they have to arrange for the hospitalization. So constantly they were at the edge of their, seat to serve the devotees. So they deserve a very great appreciation for their dedication. And they told me that 3 months before they started this kind of, preparation for the yatra and everything, all we have to do is just come, attend the program in the pandal and visit the holy places. When prasadam comes on time, take it. And just they are providing us a platform where we can all happily, receive those gifts what they are giving. And in those gifts they are trying to give, if there is some limitation due to some reason, we have to tolerate it rather than get into any blame game. But you have the freedom to give feedback, surely, in a very constructive way. You can say that, Prabhu, instead of doing this, we can try this. See, many times it's easy to give feedback, but when we are in their situation, we will understand it's difficult. Just like in cricket, somebody hit the ball like this and got out or something. People say, why did they hit like that? You should have hit like this or something like that. You are watching TV, you can say that, but when you are there, you can't hit. So it's very easy to criticize the managers. Why this is not taken care? In our one room, we have a problem. We will criticize the whole yatra. So this is where our Vishwaru Prabhu's contribution is very great. He taught us in this yatra with what attitude we should approach the dham, with how we should be appreciative and grateful and thankful, and maintain the spiritual mood. So in this way, when the awareness is going to increase more and more, initially we will, I am Krishna Das. Then after that we understand that, I am not just Das, I have to serve also. Then we render service. Then we understand I not only have to serve, I should do loving service. Not only loving service, I should be willing to sacrifice also. I will sacrifice, and I will do selfless service. I will sacrifice, and I will also do voluntary service without even being told. And I will do it in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. Why they became so, close to Krishna? Because their attitude is the highest attitude in the entire creation. That he told the example of Shiva worshipping gopis. So, gopis are the topmost devotees, and Srimati Radharani is the leader of those gopis. And Vrindavan Dham is epitomized by the love of the gopis for Krishna. And we all are here last almost a week, touching the Vrajraj and visiting the holy places where nice, wonderful pastimes have happened, and having in the association of loving devotees like Vishwaru Prabhu, Sitaram Prabhu, many other devotees. So you can see that, and many seniors have come. There are many seniors like Leelanda Prabhu, there is Madhav Gopinath Prabhu, there is Sudama Gopal Prabhu, there is Gajendra Prabhu, and Bala Govinda Prabhu, there is Vimal Prabhu. Like that, many devotees have come. I might have left out some of the names. There are many others also. And many people have taken out their time and fully devoted for this yatra, many leaders. It's a very great opulence for us to have such senior leaders with us, visiting the holy places and also hearing lectures. So, I heartily thank everybody who contributed in various different services to make this yatra very successful. Although we may not mention each and every name of those devotees, but we are eternally grateful to them, because with the last 1 week, how it passed, we didn't even realize. They gave us a very nice facility, arranging buses to go to different places, sending on time. Even one of the very senior most devotees from our ISKCON Hyderabad community, Prem Kirtan Prabhu, came also. Fully he spent time here. And he has several meetings and demands, asking him, you come immediately, but he is assisting ISKCON Hyderabad in getting some piece of property and everything. So he has been very, very busy. And every day he got a call, but he remained here for the full yatra here. Narasimhaswati Prabhu, and all these devotees. So they are, whether it be old age, whether it be sickness, they have tolerated all that and they are here for the yatra. I am very thankful to everybody. From Pune also we have Shamlila Prabhu and very famous family and his good wife. So they have they have also come. Like that, many devotees have come. Some from Pune, some from mostly from Hyderabad. Brahmacharis also joined this yatra. Brahmacharis and students. How many students came? 100 students came. So these devotees took very good lead in kirtan and also leading the groups to the different temples. So it was a very wonderful yatra. I liked every bit of it. Actually, I cannot imagine our devotees organizing such a big yatra because they have done for 200 people. Generally 200, 250 they do. They are not used to this kind of capacity. First time, very good facility. And in case any of you felt something wasn't right or it could be better, I won't say you shouldn't say it. I will request the management team to make a Google sheet where you can go and put your suggestions and they will collect it, all of it. And in future when we arrange yatra, they will take that into account. So let us thank our yatra committee with 3 loud Hari Bols. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!